Here's the bad news for everybody. Hardly anybody will buy one of these electric vehicles, and for a good long while, most car buyers will consider electric vehicles to be a great purchase for somebody else because they're expensive.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. One of the things we would love to buy is a smart car, right? Because oh, it's cute, it's fun, and it's small, so it can fit in the parking spot. We did not at any time think about, oh, because it gets great gas mileage.
No.
We're thinking of only to get into parking spots.
Well, okay. Why am I going to get a smart car next month?
For your driving test.
For my driving test, yeah. Because I'm a senior citizen and I have to take the driving test every so often, every couple of years. I have to take the driving test again, and I'm not going to drive basically a Silverado around in a driving test. No. So,
why not?
Because even though I can back it up, they're going to be pissed-addish about a person my age. You know, they're going to basically, you know, if you do, you know, basically it's still not too big for a parking space, but a little, but you know, I can actually almost pick this smart car by moving in myself. Plus, if you get the one with the parking itself feature, which is what I also will do. I'm a bad person, but it's got to do with convenience to park, not about convenience for anything else. The gas mileage isn't any better than one of the. Okay, the gas mileage is not any better than our SUV. No better. I just want it because we can get it. Okay, we go out to the beach to work. There, people basically take up 1+ parking spots almost everywhere you go. The smart car can fit into that little spot and get you within a half a block of the beach. But I get talking about the electric vehicles, which they now call EVs.
Yes.
Or MIEV.
That was a Mitsubishi.
I know, but now they're calling it the MIEV because they thought that was a better branding. Oh. It wasn't selling under the EV. But they call it.
It's like the mini EV.
But they like the name.
My EV.
My
Mitsubishi.
EV.
Yeah, my EV.
Yeah, they like that. They thought brand. Basically, you might start to wonder why they're so scarce on the roads. Probably because they're only going to manufacture about 10 to 20,000 of these things over the next decade. They're unproven. They're also expensive compared with gas-powered models. There's plenty of gas to go around. Actually, we sit on the largest petroleum supplies in the world, but our government won't allow you to drill. We can supply the world, but our country won't allow us to drill. That's basically what most of the people, here's one, people are very stupid. But they do understand there's more than enough petroleum under our ground to feed the world, so why in the hell aren't we drilling?
Drill, baby, drill.
Why are we buying oil from Saudi Arabia when we actually...
Environmentalists.
Yeah.
Not that all that's bad, right? You're protecting us from things that we might do, you know, the bad industrialists.
Yeah, but contrary to all of the speeches we heard and the President's great speeches this weekend in NATO, J.D. Powers said that a decade from now, EVs will only amount for less than 1% of all of U.S. car sales. And it's unlikely that the global demand will even reach this level. You know,
I remember Porsche at a press conference a couple of years ago. They were introducing their hybrid vehicle. Yeah. And I remember them saying only 5% of the population was interested in a hybrid or something like that. They said, but we feel we have to come out with a hybrid, even though it's not really going to sell. And there's not very many people interested in it.
I'm going to give you a tip that I saw. I think I can cover my rear end on it because I think I put it on video. One of those electric vehicles that they had over at the LA Auto Show didn't work. How they moved it back and forth was they put a battery-powered motor on the thing. They hooked the battery-powered motor up to the, to the belt so that they could sit there and make the car move back and forth off the showroom floor.
You know what? I just realized. Because we were doing a ride and drive, right, with those electric cars going around and around all day long, right? If it takes 8 hours for a charge...
they were replacing cars. I saw them do it.
Okay. They had to be.
Because there was no charging units in the garage floor. They were taking the cars. They had trucks out behind the building. They were basically shuttling the trucks over and bringing new ones in, which is sort of why the green car she was in wasn't the green car that was advertised. So.
I know, so here I am talking about this great green car. Yeah. The lady tells me, she gives me the wrong name. I announced the wrong name, right?
Yeah, but it says that...
And I did look at the back of the vehicle.
I know. But it says technology breakthrough, stronger government backing, or unforeseen spike in gasoline prices could propel electronic in the mainstream faster than it can before. No, I'll give you another reason why. You have to get the electric power from somewhere.
I know.
You get, okay,
I kind of forget that.
They have to get it from somewhere. When you plug, okay, when this computer is plugged into the wall, that power comes. It just doesn't, you know, just say power on, and it just miraculously happens.
Actually, I am much more pro-hybrid than I am electric vehicle.
Yeah, and hybrids suck. I was there, I'm going to put it this way, I was there at the debut of the what is it, the Ford Escape.
Yes.
And basically the people that were talking about that are no longer with Ford Motor Company because, you know, we need 1,000 more people just you know, we need 1,000 more people and 1,000 more service bays just to handle these things.
Yeah.
And they got to be serviced more than the other cars do.
Oh, do they really?
Because there's nothing you can do on them. They said we had to put a sign on the car that says, you know, dangerous. They keep people from servicing the car themselves because you put a hand in the wrong spot, you basically get like fried. But basically, let's see. Basically, for the years to come, electric vehicles will fail to live up to the hype. We got reasons why. They're way too expensive.
Oh, imagine that. How many gallons of gas can you get for $10,000?
Yeah, and here's a good one.
And that's just an arbitrary number based on often the difference between a hybrid vehicle versus a regular, or the electric vehicle versus a standard car.
But one of the guys said that we can get 40 miles for $1.50 of power. And I heard one of the people asking him off camera, yeah, but I've got a car made in China that I can get 50 miles for $1.50 in gasoline. And he said, well, he said, it's going to get better. No, electric prices are only going to go up. And the more people that use electricity, the higher the rates become, not the lower the rates. That's anything about electrical power. The more you need, the higher it will cost. Whereas gasoline, basically, there's so got much of it, they just continue. Everybody's afraid they're going to get screwed if you stop driving their stuff, so they keep pumping oil. And the Iranians basically don't trust the Saudis. The Saudis don't trust the Kuwaitis. The Venezuelans don't trust anybody else, so they always will cut one another's throat. And it's a supply chain. And then we can basically all of a sudden turn a spigot back on. We said basically not that far away from us is the Baldwin Park area where there's so many wells over there that basically aren't even operating, that basically you turn them on and they're pumping oil again.
Yeah. The
oil isn't worth enough to them to turn the things on at the moment.
Actually, I was talking about 10,000 and it's like a base figure right here in what you have. It says the Leaf, for example, starts at about $33,000 compared with prices of less than $20,000 for gas-powered hatchback like the Mazda or Volkswagen Golf. Now that's $13,000 difference on a little car. Yeah, and the batteries are, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 a piece for the batteries that go into those vehicles, plus they're hazardous waste. You have to dispose of them like they were hazardous waste, which means they're going to stick you a fee for disposing of your battery. When you and the batteries, they think they said are good for 60 years. 60 years?
No, six years. And then they start deteriorating. They only do 70%. Well, 70% of 40 miles is not good.
No, that's not good.
And $10,000 to $15,000.
Well, and then how much is a new battery?
$10,000 to $15,000.
Which is more expensive than an electric engine.
It's more expensive than buying a. Okay.
You could just buy another car.
You can buy a car for the $15,000.
A cheap car that runs on gas.
A cheap car that runs on gas that will get you 50 miles. Okay, there are cars out there for $15,000 that will get you 40 miles per gallon. Yeah. So why would you buy? Well, because our president's plan originally was to basically the O and the super O. The Volt is as close as he can get to the O, and they got an Opel that's being turned out in Europe that basically, you know that name O. The O is being turned out for Europeans. But
the Volt, which actually the early prototypes of Volt was a very cool car, but as time evolved. Yeah. It just looks like another, well, as they put right here, it's similar to a Chevy Cruze, which is functionally similar to the Volt.
Yeah.
Now the difference is that the Volt starts at $41,000,
Yeah.
and the Chevy Cruze starts out at $17,000.
Yeah.
So you're looking at what, $24,000
different.
difference?
You buy a
That's
lot
huge.
and you can do maintenance, a lot of the maintenance on the Cruze yourself.
Hey, you could buy two of them.
Yeah.
And still have extra money left over.
And they said that, basically they said the overall cost to run an EV is twice that to run a gasoline powered car.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, here's the other part is if you think psychologically, okay, if I plug in electricity and get an electric car, it's more green than buying fuel. Say all the costs are the same. The car is the same, the fuel's the same, the electricity's the same as far as cost.
Yep.
It's greener to use fuel than it is to plug in electricity.
That's right.
Even if across the board all the costs are the same.
The creation of power is dirty. You cannot, there is no such thing as clean power. Because it takes dirt, it takes a really dirty system to create everything that is used for the power. The power is produced in a dirty manner. And everything...
But it's dirtier than
it's
using
dirtier
fuel.
than fuel. Because fuel, basically what people, I think there's like 14 different thousand things that can be made off of a gallon of petroleum. Basically there's only one thing that can be done off of electrical power, and that's electrical power.
Oh, really?
But the petroleum, basically the gas you use is just one part of the gallon of petroleum you get. One part. I mean, the parts that, all the parts that go into making energy production also comes from petroleum. You can't do energy without petroleum. That's the whole trick, is that our president and the green people simply will not explain to you the fact that power, okay, you want to have a solar power plant, you got to have petroleum products in it. You want to have a wind power plant, you got to have petroleum products in it. You want to have water power plants, you got to have petroleum products in it. You want to have a wave power plant, you got to have petroleum products in it. All you do is, the more you build, the more dependent upon petroleum you get.
And it's not just in those types of products, because petroleum products are found in plastics, they're found in clothes, they're found in skincare products.
That's right. It's basically found in food.
In toys, in packaging.
Petroleum, you cannot stop. You do not stop the dependency. The dependency upon petroleum in automobiles is the minor part of the dependency upon petroleum. They build basically the studs that go in your homes today can be made from petroleum products. And then they say, well, we can use metals to help. Well, yeah. How do you make the metals? What do you use to make the metals? You have to have petroleum to help make the metals.
Yep.
Everything, because all those processes somewhere along the line depend upon petroleum. Okay, what are you going to run those cars on? Well, we're going to use synthetic tires. Well, how do you make synthetic tires? From petroleum. Yeah. The minor thing, but that basically it runs you. It takes a decade or more to gain back the cost that the difference in the cost of an ordinary automobile, which basically, it can be we can buy a car 10 to 15,000. It said it takes a minimum of a decade with government subsidies to recover the cost of your automobile back.
Oh, really?
And the cars won't last for more than 7 years.
Ah.
So it means you're going to be in the hole on the cost of your car very quickly. Isn't that a cute little thing?
What's the cost of being green?
Basically, what we got? People could carpool on EVs, yeah, but they have a limited range. But for example, the GM car points out the spontaneous act of freedom and doesn't lease the driver to a power outlet. Still, the Volt's battery only power the car for 40 miles, depending upon the condition.
I can't believe it's only 40 miles.
Yeah, and for drivers who frequently exceed the distance, there's no point in paying the extra for that Chevy Volt. It's, the Chevy Volt is selling
40 miles is hardly anything.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing. And I understand the gasoline engine can kick in and give you electrical power. But the gasoline engine is running, so why do you need the electrical power? It doesn't, so I'll recharge my batteries by running the gas engine. That's also defeating the electrical car.
Well, it's almost kind of like you're thinking, if it can only go 40 miles per hour, why go through the effort?
You can't drive more.
40 miles range.
You can't do.
Why go through the effort?
40 miles will not get you to most places in the city of Los Angeles. Yeah. It won't get you there because, but see, a lot of these cars are also dependent upon